Hey guys, I'm going to do my lesson for the arrays lesson. And so I'm going to talk you through a couple of things. First off, an array, let me get to the right page, sorry. An array is an organized set of, it can be objects or pictures or anything, but it's just organized in rows and columns. So before I show you some examples, I want to take you to rows and columns. And when you're looking at your sheet, if you forget any of this, you can click on these and it'll take you to these posters, okay? So rows all go side to side. If you notice, the blue row goes side to side. They go horizontal or left to right. Then you've got the red one there, the yellow one here, green row, and the purple row. So rows go side to side, just like this, okay? Columns will go up and down. And the way I've always explained it to my kids, like if we were at school, think about the front of the school building and you've got the columns that hold up the roof out front, the brick columns. The columns are what go from the ground up to hold something up. So the columns always go up and down. They wouldn't go side to side because then they can't hold up a roof. So the columns go up and down, okay? So they are vertical. So those are rows and columns. Now arrays are organized in nice rows and columns. There's not 2 in this one, 3 in this one, and then 4 in this one. They are equal. And that's the important thing about multiplication and division that you'll learn next year is that, and with our fractions, things have to be equal. They have to divide into them equally, or you can multiply and you'll have equal groups. But everything will have the same number with them. And so the arrays are just getting you thinking about the multiplication. So if you look at this array, there's 3 rows, 1, 2, and then the third row. But there's 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives us our multiplication facts, 3 times 4. Well, if you were to count each of these cupcakes, it would give you the answer to that multiplication problem because you don't have your multiplication facts memorized yet. You'll get them, but you're just not there yet. So this is just the first step to getting those, okay? So when you're looking at an array, typically with second grade, you do, here's the array, here's another array, and I'm going to come back to this one in just a second. We look at it as repeated addition. You guys have already done this. It's called skip counting, but you're just using it in another way in repeated addition, okay? Both ways give you an answer to a multiplication fact. They both do. So it's just another strategy to use when you're trying to figure out those multiplication facts. So repeated addition is just that. You're taking the exact same number. Do you see how each of these numbers is 3? Every single number is the exact same. You don't change them. Just like in the arrays, they were equal in each row, right? So you repeat that each time to get your answer of 15, okay? Or they do in this problem. So if I were looking back at my first array of cupcakes, you've got 4 in each row. So that would be 4 plus 4 plus 4. That would still give you 12, okay? So if I come down here, here's in another array. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows and 3 columns. So I could say 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, and that would give me 15. If you notice, all they did was turn this one sideways, and you get the same answer. So you could also look at it as 5 plus 5 plus 5, and it's 15. Like addition, multiplication can be flip-flopped, and you get the same answer. So it's great because it makes it a little easier. Okay, so we have repeated addition, where you add the same number over and over. And then you've got an array. They're equal, organized, nice, and neat. So just to give you a couple of examples, where did it go? There it is. Okay, so here I've already drawn the arrays. Okay, for this array, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Okay, if you see my rows, they're right here. 3 and 4. And then I've got 2 columns. I could actually do this with another color for you. 1 column, 2 column. Okay, so I'm going to actually undo that so we can go back to the array. So when I'm writing my repeated addition, you will have to do this for one of your activities. Okay, it will be your repeated addition one right here, and it's just going to give you 6 squares. And what you have to do is it's going to give you problems just like this, and you've just got to write the repeated addition. So I've got 2 in this one, so I'm going to write 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. And then write my answer. You can count the dots or you can skip count. 2, 4, 6, 8. And I can always do it to check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I get the same answer. Here, I've only got 1 column, okay? But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So I would say 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. And of course, that's going to give me 5. Down here, the repeated addition ones, I've got 1, 2, 3 rows, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So I would write 4 plus, so I did this 4, then I've got plus 4 plus 4 more. Okay? Now, if you don't know how to skip count by 4s, which is a little harder, you would just have to add them. You all know that 4 plus 4 is 8. We've got that. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it would equal 12. Here, I've got 3 and 3. So 3 plus 3, which we all know is 6. Okay? Repeated addition is very easy because you get to repeat the exact same number. But this will all tie into your multiplication. Okay? So if I were to show you, your arrays are everywhere. They are all over your house. They are in your bedroom. They are in your classroom. They are everywhere. While I was getting ready for this lesson, I actually noticed that my watch band is kind of in arrays. Like if I turn it sideways, I can do arrays here because it's got 3, if I turn it this way, 3 columns. Okay, so arrays can be anywhere. Oh, the phone, I noticed that one too. So if I did a calculator, I've got my, I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of getting bright out here, but I've got my rows and columns going up and down on here and my rows going side to side. If I were to make a phone call, it's in there too. Let me go to the keypad. I've got it right there. Okay, with the numbers. So you've got them everywhere. So I just wanted to show y'all some examples of arrays and just verbally talk through them. Normally I would write them out. So just try and stay with me with where we are. A cupcake pan. It's got 3 and 3. So this is just like the one I just drew, and it would be 3 plus 3. You've got 2 rows and you've got 3 columns. So it would be like saying 3 times 2. Then you have the egg carton. You've got 2 rows, 1, 2 rows of eggs, and you've got 6 columns. So it would be like saying 6 plus 6. Or you could say 2 times 6, and it would give you 12. Let me find another one. The Lego. You've got 4 columns and 2 rows. So it would be 4 plus 4 or 2 times 4, and they both give you 8. This one could be a little bit harder. You've got 3 columns right here, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. So it would be like saying 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. You could also say 6 times 3, which would be 18. You have them with your, if you see these, I think Miss Chapel used to have one of these in her room, with those buckets, if any of y'all have that at home. Your drawers was another good one. Your dads may have one of these in their garage or something like that, with arrays. But let me go back to this and tie in those multiplication facts. So if I'm back up here, let me do another color. Let me do black. And hopefully you'll be able to see it. So I've got 2 columns and then 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So that would be like saying 2 times 4 equals 8. They're going to always be the same answer, guys. Okay. So I've got 1 repeated. 1 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 times 5 is going to be 5. Then I've got the 4 is repeated. I see 4 over and over again. So that would be 4 times. And how many times did I repeat it? Once, twice, 3 times. Because 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Then I've got 3 repeated. And I've got it repeated once and twice. So 3 times 2 is 6. So for your work, you will have to do kind of a mix between those with finding arrays, making arrays and doing the repeated addition or doing the multiplication for it. And remember, I don't care if it's either way, it's fine with me, because it'll give you the answer no matter what. So I could kind of just go through some of the work that you'll have to do. Let me show you this sheet. This is the one you'll have to do with repeated addition. So like up here, you've got 3 plus 3, which is like one I did. So down below here, you would just write 3 plus 3 equals 6. Here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 5, 10, 15. So you would just write it right here, okay? So that should give you an idea on how to do your arrays. Remember, the repeated addition is the same number over and over. And then the number that you repeat is your 2 right there. But how many times you repeat it is your next number. Okay? So hopefully that will help explain some things.